So, when you're training to be an aviation maintenance technician, you spend all this time learning about hydraulics, turbines, all the materials and hardware, right? But what if I told you this single, most important subject, the one that's going to ensure you have a long, safe, and successful career, isn't about the aircraft at all? Nope, it's about you and the person working right next to you. It's all about human factors. All right, let's jump right in. Here's our flight plan for this explainer. We're going to start with a pretty terrifying real-world story that shows you exactly why this stuff matters. Then we'll break down the frameworks the pros use to stop errors before they start, and we'll wrap things up by putting your new knowledge to the test. To really get why this is so critical, we need to rewind to June 10, 1990. Picture this. British Airways Flight 5390, a BAC-11, has just taken off from Birmingham, England. It's a totally routine flight with 81 passengers and a crew of 6 on board. The plane is climbing over Oxfordshire, hits 17,300 feet, and then the unthinkable happens. That loud bang, that was the sound of the cockpit's left windscreen panel blowing straight out, causing a massive explosive decompression. What happened next was just insane. The force of the air rushing out literally sucked Captain Tim Lancaster out of his seat. He was halfway out of the aircraft with only his knees snagged on the flight controls. A flight attendant lunged forward and grabbed his legs, holding on for dear life, while the co-pilot, Alistair Atchison, fought to control the plane. And somehow, unbelievably, Atchison managed to land that plane safely. Everyone, and I mean everyone, survived. So, the big question is, what on earth went wrong? Well, the investigation pretty quickly figured out this wasn't some kind of mysterious, catastrophic design flaw. The cause was something way smaller and way, way more human. Get this. Investigators found that just 27 hours before that flight, a new windscreen had been put in. But the shift maintenance manager had used the wrong bolts. Out of 90 bolts, 84 of them were too small and the other 6 were too short. It was a simple maintenance mistake. And that one mistake is a perfect example of this staggering statistic. At least 80% of all maintenance-related incidents involve human factors. And that really gets to the heart of what human factors is all about. See, it's not just some list of mistakes to avoid. It's the science of understanding why we make those mistakes in the first place. It's about knowing how things like pressure, bad communication, or just being tired can lead straight to an incident. For a professional AMT, this stuff isn't just a chapter in a textbook. It's a way of life that keeps you and everyone else safe. So, to stop things like this from happening, we need a tool, something practical. Well, Transport Canada developed a really simple but powerful framework to help technicians spot these risks before they turn into an incident. It's famously known as the Dirty Dozen. Now, let's connect the dots and apply this directly to that windscreen incident. The investigation found that the maintenance manuals were confusing and they didn't have the right spares on hand. That's a textbook lack of resources. The manager also didn't bother to check the documentation. He just matched the old bolts like for like. That's a classic lack of knowledge of the correct procedure. And of course, the pressure to get that plane back in the air quickly, that was a huge factor. Okay, so the Dirty Dozen is great for looking back and figuring out what went wrong. But how do you build a real culture of safety? How do you stop errors from ever happening to begin with? For that, you need to go from reactive to proactive with a framework you can use every single day. And the Peer model is exactly that tool. Just think of it as your personal pre-flight check before you even touch an aircraft. Before you start a job, you ask yourself, P for people, am I okay to do this? Am I tired? Stressed? E for environment. Is the lighting bad? Is there pressure from the company to rush? A for actions. Do I actually have the right manual and understand this procedure? And R for resources. Do I have the right tools, the right parts, and enough time? Making this a habit is what separates the pros from the amateurs. All right, now that you've got the frameworks, let's do a quick review. We're going to go over a few key concepts that you'll see not just on a test, but every single day of your career. Let's start with that Peer model we were just talking about. There are a lot of pieces to it, but the E is one of the most important, and often one of the most overlooked. That's right, it stands for environment. And it's so important to remember this is a two-part answer. It's the physical space, the lighting, the noise. And it's the organizational environment, like the company's safety culture or any pressure to cut corners. Okay, next up. Picture this. You're in a hangar where the unofficial motto is, just get it done no matter what. This kind of thinking can be a really powerful and dangerous force. Yep, that's a textbook example of pressure. It's one of the most dangerous of the dirty dozen because it basically forces good technicians to choose speed over safety, and that is a recipe for disaster. Let's talk about something that's absolutely vital if you're working late shifts. Your body has this internal clock, and it makes you vulnerable at very specific times. Exactly. That critical period is the window of circadian low, or WOCL. During those hours, your brain power and your alertness are biologically at rock bottom. It makes you incredibly vulnerable to making a fatigue-related mistake. A huge part of the professional maintenance mindset isn't about being negative. It's about being prepared. It's this idea that you should always be looking for what could go wrong. You got it? It's Murphy's Law. And look, a professional AMT doesn't see this as some joke. They use it as a tool. If you expect things to go wrong, you build in defenses, you double-check your work, and you stop disasters before they happen. Last one. Let's talk about a very human habit that can absolutely destroy even the best teams. It's that little voice in your head that says, someone else will catch it. That is called social loafing. It's a massive threat to safety, and it's exactly why good teamwork means every single person takes 100% responsibility for their part of the job. No exceptions. So when you boil it all down, here's the bottom line. Mastering human factors is every bit as important as knowing how to torque a bolt or read a wiring diagram. This isn't some abstract theory. It's a set of practical, real-world tools that will keep you, your team, and every single person who flies safe. And so we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Is it pressure? Complacency? Maybe distraction? Just being aware of your own tendencies, that's the first and maybe the most important step toward building a long, safe, and really successful career in aviation.